Hey Scorpio, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It'll provide you insights into the week ahead. Whenever this message arrives for you, it's the right time, right place. Believe me, you were called to it when you were supposed to hear it. I always create an extended reading, and I hope you guys will join me for that. You also have the option to join the Unbound membership to this channel so that you can watch all of the extended readings to your heart's content. All the links are right down below in the description box, and I'll pin it to the top of the comments for you guys. I'm going to go over briefly the astrology with you. I gotta tell you, it's so good. I know. I'm looking at the charts like, okay. Because it's good. It's just good stuff. Pluto is in harmony with basically everything it's touching right now. Which includes the Sun, Mercury, Venus. It's also sextile to Neptune, which it has been. Then there's Mars, which I still include for you guys because it's important. Mars impacts you. And that's in a great position too, actually. It's trine to Saturn, which is like you can get anything done. Now, the challenges will be first in the beginning of the week, Mars is square to Venus, and at the end of the week, Mars will be square to Neptune. Why is this going to be okay? Because it continues that trine to Saturn. So you will be able to get anything done. The vitality, you feel like you're a little bit drained when it comes to romantic relationships, or just your sexual highs and lows, like those feelings inside of you, and like the tensions between your love affairs, etc. Those can be a little bit draining of your emotions or your focus. And then later on with Neptune is a little bit more challenging. It could bring on feelings of guilt. All I can say is this: work through them. Acknowledge them. If you feel guilty about something, guilt is just saying that you've let yourself down in some way, that you wish you could have done something differently. Be okay. The thing with the square to Neptune is just make sure that you don't overcompensate because of that guilty feeling, because there will be somebody there always willing to take advantage of your vulnerability and your feelings of guilt. Like you have to, yes, when you feel any kind of guilt, you should definitely acknowledge it and do better. But the do better is moving forward. It's not about making reparations for the past. Nothing should ever take you backward. It should only take you forward. The lesson, guilt should be a lesson to not do it again. But if somebody's asking you, pay me back, I expect, that's them in their own loop. There's no reason to hate them, especially if you know that something between you did cause them a great deal of pain. But ultimately, you can only move forward. And anything moving forward is something that you should be open to discussion to, right? But anything where they're trying to pull you back, that's different, right? There will be a lot of deep digging in terms of you, because you have that beautiful trine between Pluto and Mercury this week. It's a Mercury retrograde too, so there's a lot of information coming up from the past that I think you'll be able to, it'll be very beneficial for you. It'll be very helpful for you. It's almost like you'll finally be able to understand, right? And you'll be in a position of wisdom, being able to do something productive with that understanding. So, what's in the cards, guys? First thing that calls to me, transformation is beautiful, but it's in reverse. It's in reverse. Something that you didn't get to do. Something that you didn't get to do, a life that you didn't get to have, a life that you'll never get to have. Something that maybe you felt never got to bloom or blossom or was stunted in some way. Okay. And then we have let it shine. Talking about things, talking about your feelings, saying something that maybe you never got a chance to say. So this may be the time for being able to say words that you were never able to say. maybe even didn't feel at that time, but now you've finally come to a full catharsis where you can actually experience those feelings and you're able to talk about them openly, confidently, you know, from a place of stability. Embrace the in-between. So this is Libra energy. We do have a new moon in Libra coming up at the end of this week. And Pluto's in a beautiful position to it. What did this immediately say to me? It's almost like the acceptance that not everything works out the way that we want it to, but that doesn't make it bad. Also the acceptance of instability for a while, the acceptance of, okay, we have to work on this balance. It's not necessarily there yet. There is a balanced partnership. I think this is something that is almost rewarding to you, maybe being able to openly talk about this feeling of being heard. You're being heard. Something that you had difficulty with in the past has finally found a place of balance, and you're finally being heard. You're finally in a position where you can talk about these things. A rebirth is assured. This is a brand new life for you. Finally being able to spread your wings where in the past you could not and may have been stifled. Now there is an energy of being able to open up and spread your wings. Bring a gentle touch is here. It's got to do with love, connection, and also a very deep healing and commitment to healing. A day-by-day commitment. So there is somebody here, I think, that's coming into your life that is actually going to help you open up and help you commit to wherever you're moving forward. Remember what I said in the channeled message, the astrology review that I started? You shouldn't move back. Your whole mentality now is to move forward, and not in a rushed way, in a supported way that you feel confident about. You finally found somebody, a stabilizing factor in your life that is helping to continuously and steadfast pull you into the direction of the future. Take time out. This is the formidable future that you're looking toward. A future that could be quite intimidating. Brown bear, you're going to need a rest. Coming up within the next week or two, let yourself rest. I don't know if you can take vacation. You don't have to. There are little ways that, Scorpio, that you can take vacation within your normal day, which is not rushing yourself, not forcing yourself, not staying till 6 when you know you can leave at 5. You know what I'm saying? Allowing yourself to take a nap instead of watching television, unless that's your way of zoning out. Turn it off. Let yourself go to bed early. Let yourself take a nap. Let yourself lounge a little bit longer, maybe a half-hour shower instead of just a 15-minute shower. Definitely meditate. When you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed or even on your lunch break, take a second to just sit and pray or meditate. There are just different ways that you can give your body that release that it needs, but let that happen because you've dealt with a lot. And I think what this is saying to me is, so it's almost like, Scorpio, this week, your big, crazy past, bam, meets its future. And there's a conclusion there, and that's what we call conclusion. Conclusion is where the past meets the future. It's where one stops and the other begins. And that's pretty intense work. There's been a lot going on for you. So you're going to have to let yourself crash and take a second. I think that you have the ability to know that you have to do that now. Also a sense of you will be dealing with something quite formidable, and we're going to get deeper into that as I pull the cards. You're going to be dealing with something quite formidable, so it's definitely worth your while this week to take the time to just sort of appreciate that you feel, the balance that you feel, the calm that you feel, the healing and tranquility that you feel. Be at home. This is something close to home, near home, about your family. What is this? Please clarify. There's this bear sitting there. Please clarify what this intimidating factor is going to be. You don't know if somebody's going to forgive you. You think that they're going to continue to make it a problem, even though you're in a very peaceful place. Stay in that peaceful place, because your peace will set an example for the peace that you want to create. We have the Chariot once again on home. Your family is about to make you're taking your family in a different direction. Your family's going to move, whether that's metaphorically, whether that's socially, whether that's literally. Your family is going to move. There's a movement happening in the family. There's some sort of progress that maybe you tried to prevent, or that you were wary of. You're wary of the direction that your family is headed. You're wary of the direction that a family member is headed in. Okay, all right, we got there. You have a peace and tranquility about it. You don't know if they will. You don't know if somebody else is willing to forgive. So let's dig deep. Let's dig deep. First, I just want to give me a second to get more cards on the table. This person is arrogant. There's an arrogance here. I don't like it. There's a Leo in reverse. I can tell you that right now. There's some energy that is extremely arrogant based on lack of confidence. There is some energy. Okay. Your leadership is going to be challenged. And this is what I warned you about. In making too many concessions and feeling like you have to make up for the past, you are not putting yourself or pushing the future the way that you should be. Or pushing into the future, or proceeding into the future. You're not allowing yourself to do it. And that's going to make you look weak and lose your power. And you have such power right now. Don't give it away to a motherfucker who's just there to exploit you and try to make you feel bad about shit so they can get what they want. Because this person or this energy has no power. But they can make you powerless through the power of guilt. Who is this right here? In reverse, we have a fiery... Yeah, in the past, this wasn't completely resolved. This is an issue that was not completely resolved. And ultimately, it's going to try to get what... I'm so glad you're watching this video this week. It's going to try to get one over on you. This week, it's going to try to get one over on you. Because it knows that you're in a peaceful mood. It knows that you're in a place of kind of feeling kind, feeling giving. It knows you're in a place, right, of openness, and it's just gonna like walk in and kind of try to like take everything you're offering, and quite honestly, stop offering that much, because you have to take the lead here. You have to be the lead, and you have to say this is the direction that it's heading in, and whether you like it or not. It's not based on what happened in the past, or it is based on what happened in the past. I am basing what happened in the past on this decision that I've made for the future. Right? This could be somebody who is kind of acting like, if you don't give me what I want, I'll leave. I want to make you happy. I want to make me happy, but your decision to leave is yours. It isn't mine. I don't want that. But Scorpio, don't be willing to overcompensate to make them fucking stay, because that is not on you. And you are likely, especially toward the end of this week with that square to Neptune, you are likely to feel so guilty. You give them or let them take from you more than you should, and then it compromises you. And it compromises your energy and your steadfastness, your authority. right? I think the hardest thing, the biggest challenge this week will be to accept that you have to take authority here. You kind of don't want to, but you do have to. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release your feelings of guilt and sorrow and suffering. That's what it's time to release. And it's time to release it because it's going to be the cornerstone of how people will try to get one over on you this week. Now, it's not to say that you sit there like an arrogant buffoon and pretend like nothing happened. Listen. Listen to understand. Listen to hear. Listen to really figure out how to work things out. Absolutely. That's you having evolved. That's you being ready to be bigger than you were a few weeks ago, a few months ago, a few years ago. But it's the release of this energy of you feeling that you have to constantly bow down to this guilt and this suffering. It's like you finally realizing somebody is using the guilt and suffering to have power over you, not because they're actually feeling taken advantage of or they're feeling the suffering anymore. They're just feeling the opportunity. Bitch, fuck you. What do you want me to say? Opportunistic. I hope you have the wisdom to see it. Now, what is Scorpio supposed to do about it? Whoa! Shit. I told you, man. Out of all the cards in the deck, stay strong in your faith. What I tell you. It's like, okay, let's read the card. A positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset. Oh my God. Which is why you have to release negativity. Because if you're all up in your feelings and you're all up in your guilt and you're all up in your shame, then you are not thinking positive. You're thinking the worst, and you're going to base your decisions on worst case scenario, which means you're going to be overcompensating for a worst case scenario that hasn't even fucking happened yet. Don't do that. Don't overcompensate at all. Don't overcompensate. In fact, I would argue, don't compensate at all. You don't have to compensate for anything. You have to confront, acknowledge, honor, and figure out the way forward. That's what you have to do. But you don't have to compensate, and you sure as hell have to stay away from ding, 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 overcompensation. Talk to me. What is this Leo in reverse? Or who? Is it a who? Or is it a situation? They're still fighting over the past. They won't let the past go. This is a situation that is like the past just will, it's like relentless. They're using the past. They're using the reflection of the past to fight. To continue to fight. They're fighting a battle that started years ago. And ultimately, this is stand your ground. Stand your ground when they come at you, right? In a reflective way. Like reflect, like look back and say, let's talk about it. But it's also stand your ground and show some authority and say, okay, but this is the way I'm seeing it moving forward. Or this is the way that I am going to handle the situation. Because this is definitely the energy of finding strength in the reflection, in the act of reflecting upon the past, figuring out, almost being inspired and taking inspiration from, this is why I know I have to make this strong statement. I can't be, wishy-washy, because wishy-washy gonna fuck me up. This is somebody who keeps bringing up the past because they know it's the key source to manipulating you into the future. Shut the front door! But do come over to the extended because I'm going to dig deep into this person. I'll see you there. Bye, Scorpio.